Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. You've probably never seen my face before, unless you've been here a very long time. But anyways, I'm in my parents' basement recording this video because I'm doing it at a very inopportune time. Everyone's upstairs screaming and stuff. They're probably gonna come down here at some point because, well, originally I was gonna record this outside, and we're gonna get a bad storm, so that's great. But anyways, this is gonna be my egg hunt review. I was going to use my higher quality camera, like right here. I got it right here, if I can get it. Yeah, but it was very uncomfortable to use it. Couldn't do it. So I'm using the integrated one. So yeah, that's why I could have a higher quality camera. But yeah, there's a treadmill over there. There's a treadmill over there. And I got weights back here like that. Elmo toys over there and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff down here. So yeah, thankfully you're not going to have to look at my face and my unshaven head for this long. But anyways, yeah, Egg Hunt 2020, and it wasn't good. It was just another dev hunt. But I'm not gonna say anything that I already wrote in this like 60 kilobyte script. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but for a text file it is. So yeah, all I have to say is prepare for a long video. Just sit back, get some popcorn or whatever. I don't care what you do, but yeah, let's get into this. Hey everyone, and welcome to my long-awaited Egg Hunt 2020 review video. It's time for the big 2020, so let's see if all my hopes are not going to be crushed this year by jumping straight into the action. This year's Egg Hunt follows last year's format of 50 plus games with eggs in them all. This obviously is disastrous, and if this is going to be a standard for Egg Hunts from now on, I do not like it at all. This format has many issues, such as the one I'm about to detail. Last year, many eggs came out a day earlier than they were supposed to, meaning that some people were already 50% done with the event before the event itself even began. This is bad, and the same thing happened this year. Apparently, this year it was a soft launch, and was for nothing more than to test everything. But really, doesn't Roblox and all the rest of the people involved this year have any testers themselves instead of just normal players? I really don't get that excuse, and to me, I see it as nothing more than an excuse. I was up until 1 AM when the texting simulator egg dropped, and then I knew what was going to go on. A few minutes later, the owl and flop egg came out, and now we're here. All the eggs were released a day early, except for 2 of them. And not only does this ruin the entire suspense and hype for this event, but it also is severely disappointing. Everyone is extremely hyped for this event due to the trailer and April Fool's game. Yeah, I know the April Fool's dev did not have any involvement this year, but still, you get the point. I really thought they'd learn from their mistake last year, but apparently not. This was most definitely worse than last year, as only 2 developers didn't release their eggs a day early, as I mentioned before. This soft launch, as they call it, was not very soft at all, and in fact, it was really rough. This also provides players with a great sense of disconnection between Roblox and the actual developers of these games. The event is very unorganized, seeing that the entirety of it was pretty much released early, and it doesn't seem like Roblox cares either. I know I praised last year's Egg Hunt, but I only did that because I wanted to like it. It is honestly sad that this is a new standard for Roblox, arguably greatest events of the year. There is no reason other than pure laziness as to cancel the Egg Hunt styles we saw in Egg Hunt 2017 and 2018, which, mind you, only had limited intervention from Roblox staff as most of the work was done by the people they hired, 15 and EBR. Anyways, this review will be taken on the side of how I and my friends experienced it in, so taking that into consideration, I'm going to review each game in the order that I played them. Ready, get set, and let's do this. We're going to start with Bear since it's my favorite game that was included in the Egg Hunt. The Bear Egg was fairly easy as you just had to find a key on one of the maps and open a door in the lobby. You'll be teleported to a mysterious room where a figure instructs you to look around for some clues. There's a piece of paper in the corner of the room, and once you pick it up, you'll get a clue that details what each picture represents. So, for example, if the prompt said, "Number 1, a life of crime," you would look for the picture that shows Jailbreak's thumbnail and write down the color on it. In this case, it was orange. You follow the order of the prompt and connect them to the images to get yourself a color code of 4, and you must enter it into the room in front of you. After that, you will complete a short obstacle course to get the egg. It's very unique, and I have to congratulate Cheetah Man for it, as it seems like he was one of the very few people who actually cared enough to give their players an interesting quest. The only problem I have with this segment, though, is its length. It just feels way too short, and I wish Cheetah Man could have given it a little bit more complexity. Take the Malbear quest, for example. I'm giving this section a 10 out of 10 because I like the game and quest, even if it is very short, and plus, you're probably not going to see another 10 out of 10 on this list. So if there's anything that deserves a 10 out of 10 spot, it's probably Bear. Now I went over to Tiny Tanks and It has a pay-to-win feature. Now, before I start, yes, I understand this is not something new to egg hunts. Roblox himself has made many gears that would allow you to launch items such as a tabby egg from 2016 and find eggs easier and such. I get that, but this ties in with the complaint I have about learning from one's mistakes. Roblox should know by now that people do not like pay-to-win mechanics, and so should the devs for these games. I just don't get why they would drop pay-to-win features completely, as it would make everything so much better. Honestly, I hate the inclusion of pay-to-win features in egg hunts, even if this one is just 50 Robux. The 500% chance game pass is just simply unfair. And as well as this, if you play the game on mobile, they literally hand you the egg for free since the game does not work with mobile. This is honestly dumb. I get that some people are actually restricted in mobile in the sense that they don't have access to a computer at all, but still, the developer of Tiny Tank should have done something interesting exclusively for the mobile players, but no, it's just click a button to get the egg. A real shame if you ask me, but hey, at least that completely negates the pay-to-win aspect for mobile players. That's good, I guess. Anyways, to get this egg, you just have to play normally and kill someone, and there's an excruciatingly rare chance they will drop an egg. The worst part is that if you kill the person who dropped the egg, you might not even get it, as some other people can just snatch it away from you. Even still, people who already have the egg can still pick it up. Well, I really got lucky on my first time around. The same cannot be said for when I replayed this to help my two brothers. It took us at least 20 minutes for them to get the egg. Just painful. I'm giving this segment a 2 out of 10 because it was excruciatingly painful to play, and the inclusion of pay-to-win elements of mobile players not even be able to play lowers the rating heavily. Plus, heavy RNG is involved. In fact, now that I think about it, a lot of the games aren't really mobile friendly. Now on to Roblox in high school. They brought this game back from last year's hunt, but this time, instead of having to play some quite honestly fun mini-games to grab an egg, we just have to walk around and find some painfully obvious Despacito spiders around the map. I have to say that the use of the Despacito meme in 2020 is just a little bit out of touch. It seems like a fellow kids moment. The egg looks really good regardless though. It's not all bad though. In fact, this was the closest thing to any hunt I played so far. The spiders were painfully obvious as I said before, but most of the spiders were in the city square, which made them very compact and close together. I'm not sure whether to like the brevity of this segment or not, because on one hand, it doesn't feel like a walking simulator, but on the other hand, it just feels too easy and quick. The only spider I really had trouble finding was the one in the school, which a girl helped me find anyways. This section is going to get a 5 out of 10 for me. Trust me, you're going to hear that a lot from now on. I'll be honest, I did this one entirely on a private server. The footage you're seeing is only because I forgot to record footage on said private server. I didn't want to have to wait 500 rounds just to become sheriff or murderer to get the egg for me, my brother, and my younger brother. It would have just taken too long. Anyways, all you're supposed to do is play the game normally until you get the chance to actually make a difference in the game by becoming sheriff or murderer, in which then you have to kill someone with an egg on their head. The problem is, the egg doesn't even show up on people's head most of the time, meaning that some random will have the egg and no one will know until the very end of the game. I bet this would be patched later on, but for right now, this is inexcusable. Even if you get the egg on your head, there's no way of telling from my observations, and it will just make you a target for the murderer anyways. This interferes with people actually trying to play the game normally, as there is a large RNG factor that says if you will become a target for players trying to get the egg or not. I honestly expected more from this game, especially since Rolf made it. I'm highly disappointed with this segment. 5 out of 10. All 3 of these eggs are exactly how you'd think you'd be able to get them. To be brief, they aren't fun, just painful and heavily RNG based. The dev egg was easy to get because I was looking at a group who made the egg hunt games and saw one with their join game open and got lucky. Eggman was also pretty easy. A German Roblox admin, I'm assuming he's German due to his name, just so happened to be in a game, and I tried to join, and at servers full trying to join 100, I finally got in and grabbed the egg. The video star egg took way longer, as I was having to compete over an egg with over 800 stream participants. It got so bad as to where people were joining the YouTuber's game even before he could with the use of the Roblox Plus plugin. It was absolute chaos. But later on, I took note of this and used the same strategy to finally get my hands on the egg. Sorry for having barely any footage for these. I just wasn't bothered to because it was just server hopping 90% of the time. Anyways, these launcher eggs have been dreaded since 2015, and rightfully so. They are nothing more than something to scare away the completionists. At the dawn of the next day, I woke up early just to see the event officially release. That time eventually did come around 1 PM, where I and many others are greatly disappointed to see that while the event page itself came out, the lobby did not. I myself thought it was coming out late or something due to the fact the sign in the countdown game was playing said, "We are still looking for the lobby." 4 more hours of egg hunting, and my hope was lost. There is no lobby, and there won't be one. Yes, you heard me right. Egg Hunt 2020 has no lobby. It's over. Egg Hunt 2019 was better, and I had just made a fool of myself by hyping up so hard as to where I swore that this event would be better than last year's, but no. Now, as you'd expect, I was completely outraged by the fact that there was no lobby and immediately took it to Twitter. The absence of a lobby cannot, under any circumstances, be excused. The reasons I'm saying 2019 was better is because Roblox actually care enough to have a lobby made for it, but apparently they're too lazy to even do that anymore. Even with last year's lobby and its flaws, it still was really the only good part, and the only part that actually felt like an egg hunt. It did bring interesting things to the table, and now imagine the only good thing about an entire event style and direction being taken away from you. Without it, there's nothing simply interesting or unique about this event. We're just slapped with 50 games, and we have to do the same mundane, easy, and stupid tasks. This completely blows. I could rant about the absence of a dedicated game or lobby for hours, but I will spare you all of my anger. I do have one more thing to say though, and that is the fact that the spy theme that Roblox pushed with their Egg Hunt trailer could have been amazing and executed perfectly within a lobby if the right people were in charge. But instead, the only thing relating to the spy theme at all is your egg phone. I'll admit the egg phone is nice, but it will never be enough to fill in the hole that is the absence of a lobby. Looking at your egg phone only tells you what eggs you have, and I cannot believe Roblox made such a grand mistake after they have just been shown many times that 50 games, 50 eggs does not work. All the potential this egg hunt could have had is all gone, and everyone's waiting was for nothing either. Just let that sink in for a moment.
By the way, I know there's a fan-made lobby, but I'm not going to be reviewing it because it isn't official, and the lobby is just a teleporter for every game, and there's no objectives or anything like that, so I hope you understand. Okay, thanks, bye.
Right after I just got done talking about repeating the same mistakes, epic minigames comes in. Just come on, guys. We know last year's Woolly Mammoth was not fun, as we just had to wait for a specific minigame to roll around, and even still, we were not guaranteed to get it. It's not fun, it's just boring having to wait for a specific minigame. I'd really thought they'd learn from last year, as I've said with many other games before, but apparently not. I will say that the new minigame made specifically for this event is pretty fun, however, it ends way too quickly because the boss dies pretty fast. For a juggernaut, as he is called in this game, you'd think he'd had a little bit more health, but nope, he's more of a piece of paper, if anything. 4 out of 10. Another returning game. In Zombie Rush, you must kill 5 zombies that randomly will be holding a drumstick. It is complete RNG, but at least it's harder than last year's where you only had to kill 1 zombie and hope they were holding an egg. This one actually took me a while, but that's probably only because of its extreme luck factor. 5 out of 10. Beat a specific map normally, but at the end, grab the egg and go literally 5 feet in front of you to win. Everyone will be voting for the map anyway, so you'll probably get it really fast. I'm getting real tired of win around but parts of the event. We really have to play this? Fine. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. The map looks very nice and the game was semi-interesting. I'll just give this one a 6 out of 10 for doing something cool. This segment was surprisingly fun, at least to me. I lost only once, which did suck, but I won the next round due to great teamwork. I enjoyed it, and especially the final boss was enjoyable. The only complaint I have about this segment is that you can't choose which loadout or troops to use. All players will be using a certain set of troops, and as you'd imagine, it's not varied in terms of gameplay and strategy. Overall, this segment deserves an 8 out of 10 rating. You go around and complete 3 obbies and get 3 keys to find your way to the egg. It's really easy, non-time consuming, and simple, but I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought returning to one of my all-time favorite games after so long would have been such an enjoyable experience, but I was met with confusion trying to get this egg. I eventually figured out what I was supposed to do, but the game never made it obvious in the first place. 5 out of 10. This game was really fun. All you had to do was go around and collect 30 golden eggs, which doesn't take long, but I shouldn't be complaining about that since I lost connection right before I collected the 30th golden egg. And no, I'm not faking that for comedic effect. My internet really did screw me over at the last second. What? I lost connection! I lost connection as soon as I was about to touch it! No way! Does it save your progress?
You touched the rotten egg. You touched the rotten egg.
No, as soon as I got to that's so unlucky. I'm not even joking. That's not for comedic effect. If it was longer, that would have been frustrating, but this game was so fun that I really didn't mind it, and I would happily play it again. This segment is definitely deserving of a 10 out of 10, simply because of how fun the game it was hosted in was. This one was a lot harder than it was last year. Last year's Shark Bite Egg just had you playing with an egg boat and dying for an egg to fall out of it, and while it was certainly clever, it was just too easy. I also believe this one was easy, but it was a lot more challenging and fun than it was last year. 6 out of 10. They fixed their mistake of only having the egg appear in one map by making you able to collect pieces in any map to power a drill. I do think that they made it too easy, as the pieces are client side, meaning it's free reign with them and you don't have to worry about other people trying to snatch them away from you. And plus, you can even get them when you're dead in a ghost, which I think is just plain stupid. 6 out of 10. I'm giving this a +1 score simply because the developers learned from their mistake last year. I thought that this segment would be excruciatingly boring just by looking at the timestamps of YouTube videos describing how to get it. It scared me because it also is a simulator, but I was really surprised to see it wasn't that bad, and even pretty good. It really just involves moving back and forth and completing really easy quests, but where this game really shines is the boss, where you must defeat it to obtain the egg. The only problem with the boss is that you have to wait to fight him, which was a problem back in Egg Hunt 2017 and 2018 if I recall. Luckily, wait times aren't that long, and the boss is pretty fun either way. Do all that and you get the ghastly egg. It looks really bad, I know, but still, the game's objective was fun to make up for the bad egg design. This segment gets a 9 out of 10 from me. I really enjoyed it, but it would be getting a 10 out of 10 if a solution to the waiting times was found. Pretty fun, but it has a lot of major flaws. One being that you start out with too little materials to actually build anything worthy of getting you and your egg safely to the dragon at the end. This would have been unbearable to get if not for another player in our server who had a very complex boat design. Unfortunately, he left when we were trying to get our other friend, Random, the egg, and it disappeared and killed us all in the process, yeah. 5 out of 10. We had to wait for Random to complete the tutorial, which to my knowledge cannot be skipped. I know this is a flaw with the actual game and not the event portion itself, but still, it's pretty annoying having to wait. I really do like how they made a boss specifically for this event, and it just shows their dedication, and it's especially noticeable when a lot of other games this year are just lazy with their quests. That's about all I can say about this segment. 7 out of 10. Really easy. All you have to do is just walk around and collect 15 eggs with the default Roblox face to get the Eggo bot. 5 out of 10. First, you have to go talk to this lady who insists that there is no egg. You'll have to keep coming back and talking to her in order for her to confess and open a hatch to the basement, and holy mother of lag! Yeah, I don't know why, but this part of the game causes my game to run at 17 FPS. It was unbearable. Now you have to find this painfully obvious bright glowing book and get a secret omelet recipe. After that, you'll take the recipe back, but Chef Luigi wants you to do his minigame first. The minigame is pretty easy, but it's enjoyable. After that, you just have to wait for a customer at your restaurant to order the omelet and simply just make it to get the egg. I got super lucky as my first customer ordered exactly what I needed them to, so I got this pretty quickly. For a minute there, I was starting to feel like an Egg Hunt 2017 or 2018 quest was upon us. This one did a lot more than just win around, and because of that, I will be giving it a 7 out of 10. Treasure Quest was another great game to play. My only gripe is that the boss you have to fight is way too easy. He only does 1 damage, you can simply spam attack in front of him and win either way. Besides that though, this is one of the most enjoyable parts of the event. 10 out of 10. Yeah, there's a lot of simulators and tycoons that have been chosen for this year's Egg Hunts. Anyways, we're in the game and holy mother of interfaces. This is just crazy and it made me feel super overwhelmed when I first joined. But anyways, onto the actual egg quest itself. You have to go talk to this guy by the van and he wants you to hack terminals to unlock egg pieces. So you go to one of the terminals and begin hacking it. I really do like the way they made this hacking GUI and the sequence you have to input to win, but there is one problem. You can just spam 1 and 0 constantly and there's no penalty for doing so, meaning that this was super easy and I got the egg in just under 3 minutes. Wow. Just wow. 3 out of 10. Okay, so this one should have just been as easy as winning a round with the egg in hand like it said at the start. But oh boy, if only I knew what I was getting myself into. This was easily the most infuriating part of the entire event, and what I consider to be the absolute worst part. The egg that you're supposed to collect and survive while holding is extremely uncommon, and sometimes it doesn't even spawn in at all. Rounds end way too quickly as some numbnut will decide to reveal their identity as the wolf and get killed by the hunter in the first 10 seconds, and because of that reason alone, sometimes people don't even get the egg in a round. The amount of times that this happened is unbelievable, and I spent over 40 minutes trying to get this egg. I even found it in a hut outside. Granted, I would have lost anyway since the wolf was already chasing me, but the game didn't even register me picking it up, and which just made me pissed as hell. On the other time I saw it, the wolf was already chasing me, meaning that I again lost a chance to be done with this garbage. And then, on my third try, I almost raged so hard that I almost broke my computer. I was so close, and this guy had to come and ruin it all. This golden egg right here is nothing more than a death trap that makes you an immediate target for the wolf. Even before that whole ordeal, I almost died walking into a church full of survivors, and the guy at the podium almost shot me, an innocent, with his crossbow. Oh yeah, did I mention that shooting an innocent player as the hunter gives you literally no penalty other than, "Duh, you can't pick up the gun again, duh, you've been a bad boy, no sir, you can't have it, duh." The entire cycle of this game is the following. Hope to God that the wolf isn't an oblivious player who will reveal their identity way too quickly and get killed in an instant. Hope to God that you spawn near the golden egg. Hope to God that even if you don't get it, the person who has it dies and you can grab it from their dead body. Hope to God that the wolf itself doesn't even have the egg, because if he does, there's literally no way of getting it back then if you don't have the crossbow. Hope to God that he doesn't find you and kill you, because honestly, if he sees you with that wretched golden egg strapped to you, he is going to hunt you down until he gets it. And hope to God that the next round will be the last. The map is too small, rounds end too quickly, the entire game is just not fun, and the egg that you need to survive around with barely spawns at all. It's another extremely RNG-based mess. Now, yes, this would be easy if you're playing as a wolf, but for me, I played 40 rounds of this game and only once did I become the wolf. But you might be saying, Anom, why didn't you not buy a private server? Well, one, I'm not even sure if this event works in a private server, and two, I'm not willing to figure that out because the private servers are a whopping 500 Robux? I really didn't like this game, and I hope I expressed my rage and discontent with this segment, as I don't think any more words can describe how awful this was for me, but I hope I never have to do something like this ever again. Get this out of my sight. 1 out of 10. Okay, now that that travesty is done with, it's time to move on to another game. We got Adopt Me. Well, that's not much better, but let's see what we have to do in it. Basically, this entire segment is just waiting for your spoiled brat of a baby chicken egg to request you to do something for it, and you must complete 4 of its requests. It's not really fun, as it's really just waiting until something happens as you walk around the map. I don't like this game, and it's incredibly boring, yada yada yada, 5 out of 10. Oh great, another simulator. Thankfully, this simulator in particular hosts one of the best looking eggs. So let's go see if it's actually worth it. So you have to go through this egg hunt world and run around and collect 100 golden eggs. Yeah, 100 of them. Thankfully, it doesn't take that long, and you just sit on a quest to get a key from the boss. But first, you must do a small parkour course. The same issue of having to wait for the boss to appear is present in this game, similar to how it was in Ghost Simulator. But while I praise Ghost Simulator for having a fun boss, this one isn't going to receive said praise. This boss doesn't even attempt to deal damage, unlike the ones in other games. Sure, the other bosses were also pretty easy, but at least it was actually possible to die from them. With this one, there is no challenge whatsoever. Just spam click 50 times until he dies and you get the key. And then go back to the bunny and, well, that's it. 5 out of 10. I apologize if I'm being a little bit too critical of these things, but I'm in a very angry mood, especially after that wolf segment. I'm never gonna get over that. Mad City. Well, I've never played this game prior to this event, so I'm not sure how it works, but I believe being a superhero should be the easiest way to get this egg. So I picked it up. The team is full. Alright, so it seems like I'm gonna be doing this on foot. Yay. So I opened up my egg phone and still didn't understand what I was supposed to do, so I left the police station and followed the pink egg marker on my screen, stopped my car in the vicinity of it, and swam across the ocean and earned 10 levels just for doing that for some reason. What you're supposed to do is have you or your group members collect 5 eggs that randomly spawn across this huge map. Yes, this map is really big. Luckily, everyone can get the egg by simply standing on the altar once all the eggs have been found. After that, you're teleported to a boss arena, but you get the egg as soon as you are teleported, and thus you don't even have to fight the boss to get the egg. Even without the ability to fight, this was really easy, but only because I got lucky and made it when 4 out of 5 of the eggs were already placed, and I basically contributed nothing and still got it. I'm not sure if the whole not having to fight the boss part was unintentional or not, but yeah, -1 because of that. Do all that and you get the invasion egg, 4 out of 10. Look at that like to dislike ratio. Alright, so it's a rage game, and that explains the game's rating, I guess, but this was really rage-inducing as you'd expect, and I didn't have too much fun. While I'll agree that it's certainly better than some other segments like this because this was actually a challenge, I'm still upset about the pay-to-win mechanics splattered all over the GUI. I bet these were in the game before the egg hunt began, so I don't really have the need to hold that against this game because of that. I spent 6 minutes trying to get up these stairs and make my way to the egg, and it was just unbelievably frustrating. However, a golden egg dropped out of nowhere, and so I didn't have to do the daunting task of climbing these stairs. I guess I'm really lucky since the egg randomly decided to fall down the stairs or something. After that, I went to go to the kitchen and get on a shelf and cook my egg, and travel with some zip wires to feed this giant noob my cooked egg. After that, he regurgitates the flop egg. The horror ended as quickly as it began. 6.5 out of 10. Collect 30 eggs that players will drop after death, or in other words, just kill 30 people or wait until 30 people around you die. I will give them credit though, it used to be 50 eggs until they nerfed it. Thank God, because this was made unbearable play to my piss poor connection. Granted, my internet speed is not the developer's fault, but still, I just didn't enjoy this segment simply because of that. It is a good game though, and I just can't enjoy it to its fullest extent because of my slow internet that randomly jumps up to 7,000 ping every few minutes. 5 out of 10. Is it just me, or is anyone else getting tired of this? Oh well, might as well get this over with then. I really didn't like last year's Beastswarm egg, and I really feel like they shouldn't have included it again simply because this is nothing more than a grind fest. I do know a lot of people like this game, but it's really not my thing, and last year's quest was just grinding points and pollen and whatnot, and it wasn't that fun. So let's see if they fix it up for this year. This time around, you have to capture 3 chicks. One for the black bear, one for mama bear, and one for the brown bear. This sounds good on paper, but in execution it's horrible. The first chick is easy to kill even if you have noob equipment such as me, but with the spotted chick, it keeps hiding its eggshells and 1/2 of your attacks will miss, and it's just incredibly annoying. The main problem with these battles is that your bees get tired and need the rest, but to do that they have to fly all the way back to your hive incredibly slowly and then spend a few seconds there and then fly all the way back to where you are so they can just start attacking again. This element of gameplay alone turns this into a massive chore, a hellish one at that. Especially since it takes forever to kill the spotted chick due to his cheap blocking mechanic. Oh, don't worry, you're gonna see that same blocking mechanic return. Oh, and one more thing. I had to spend 15 minutes trying to get this spotted chick quest to finally be over with because I didn't realize that you absolutely required a few of your bees to be above level 4 for it to count. Then and only then will it count. Now, after you capture that chick, it's time for the final boss, the commando chick. This one can actually kill you. Thank God the others can't, because I'd probably just have given up at that point. Now, the problem with this is the commando chick is located on the far left side of the map, meaning that once again, when your bees get tired, they have to spend 30 seconds flying all the way back to the hive, 30 more seconds resting, and 30 more seconds traveling back to you. These obviously aren't accurate times, but you get the point. Thankfully, you are able to stand out of bounds and the chick will disappear, but come back with the same amount of health he was at before. But that still doesn't fix the fact that this is incredibly time-consuming and boring. It took me 15 minutes to kill this boss, and this section would have been so much more tolerable if not for these blocking mechanics, which, mind you, the commando chick uses a lot. And the sleep mechanic, too. Both of these things combine to create an abomination of a quest that can only be described as a huge waste of time. Alright, now that my little mini rant of this segment is over, I'm gonna slap it with a 2 out of 10. I know this is a ballsy move considering how popular and widely praised this game is, but I don't think I care anymore. This is honestly how I felt spending around 30 minutes trying to complete this garbage. And if you're going to get mad at me over liking a game because I think it's boring, then that's on you, buddy. I'm not changing my rating. Even if the game itself would be pretty fun to play if I ignored the egg hunt quest, it should not be involved in the egg hunt, especially for the second time in a row. I don't play sports in real life nor in video games, so getting used to this game was surprisingly easy actually. I'd go as far as to say that I actually enjoyed this, as it is a step up from last year's soccer-based egg quest. Last year, you just had to score a goal with the egg, but this year is more challenging as you have to kick the ball and hit the force field surrounding the egg multiple times in order to break the field and obtain it. Pretty fun. 6.5 out of 10. Kill someone. 5 out of 10. Okay, so this is one of those horror story games. A really strange choice for an egg hunt, but hey, let's see what they're offering anyways. First off, we have to find this guy 10 frozen ice shards, because apparently he isn't cold enough already. So I got 4 out of 5 pieces, and I got teleported in the house right as I was about to give him the 5th one. Restart. Next time around, I had help from some of my fellow Robloxians, and we gave Charlie all 5 of his ice pieces, and hey look, it's the Egg Hunt 2013 portal. Unfortunately, we can't enter it yet though. Now we are gathering supplies in our house and just enjoying life when a news broadcast comes on saying that the purge has just begun. We skipped the cutscene in this footage, but trust me, that's the whole premise of this game. After that, we just sleep it off, and then someone gets captured in the next day. Then we got the great idea to board up our windows to prevent another potential attack. Then this guy bursts into my room and we have to mercilessly beat him to a pulp. Right after that, this nostalgic Kevin MacLeod Egg Hunt 2013 music begins playing and the egg portal we activated at the start finally opens. We enter the portal and there's Egg Hunt 2013 all around. An immediate +1 for these Egg Hunt 2013 throwbacks. Anyways, the deviled egg that was mentioned to us by the cold guy at the start appears and we must kill him. While this boss is easy, I still appreciate the amount of effort went into making it. After it is dead, it is frozen in the giant egg and every participant gets the egg. And even after that, the fun doesn't even end as that whole boss fight, which is a side segment implemented for the egg hunt specifically. I'm not going to be talking about the rest of the game since it actually doesn't have any purpose for the egg hunt, but it's still nice to let you know that there is more to it than what I just said before. Wow, that was a nice change of pace. I thought this would have been boring, but it turned out to be a really good segment. This is a step up from the other horror story games that I've seen, even if this one's story isn't that all original either. It was actually kind of fun, and I'm not afraid to admit that. 10 out of 10 for this segment. Even on top of all these positive things, the brain freeze egg also looks great since it is the only semi-transparent egg I've ever seen since 2012's ethereal ghost egg. If only all the segments of the egg hunt could be like this, we would have had a decent event on our hands. Anyways, back to the crap. Alright, I have to admit that this game looks really good. Unfortunately though, it's short-lived since you just have to kill 5 enemies to get the egg. My only gripe is that you have to follow the path and there's invisible walls everywhere which prevent you from getting to a faraway area if you die. It's annoying, but still, 5.5 out of 10. Oh god, they brought back the roll egg coaster. Remember that travesty? The roll egg coaster segment just had to have been one of the worst parts of Egg Hunt 2019 because it was just a walking simulator around this huge map. It made it worse because you had to ride roller coasters in a specific order and everyone just used videos to figure out how to get it anyways. They intentionally made the lines to the coasters comically long in order to force you to buy a fast pass, and it was just annoying and not fun. The roller coasters you had to ride were also in the most inconvenient places and were miles apart from one another. It was just plain awful, so let's see if they fix it up this year. So, from what I've gathered, this time around you don't have to ride the roller coasters in a certain order, nor do you have to ride as many as you would have had to ride to get the roll egg coaster last year. An immediate +1 since they learned from their mistake last year. So I went to my first roller coaster, the flight coaster, in order to get my first piece of scrap. You'll need 3 to get the egg. The first time around, someone booted me out of my seat somehow and I had to wait for the ride to come back in, which was annoying, but the next time around I actually got on the coaster. Admittedly, it's still boring. Additionally, the fast pass mechanic isn't as severe in this rendition of the game, but it's still there. So you just have to walk and wait, and that's the only gameplay here. I do believe that this is better than it was last time, but it's still the same premise. I like the fact that players now have choice of what they want to ride instead of having to ride rides in a certain order like last time, though. I literally wrote parts of the script while my character was still riding the coasters as well, so there's that. Now, that isn't the end of it. The devs actually went the extra mile and made a unique section dedicated to getting the egg. After you get all 3 scrap pieces and go back to the scientist teleporter, you get teleported to a new game where you must make your way through the vents, dodge lasers, input some combinations, and dodge aliens and security cameras from spotting you. At the end, you find the egg in a room, and you must run to the escape with it. Overall, this part of the seemingly basic quest was really good in my opinion, and it's definitely enough to have me give this segment a 7.5 out of 10. A huge step up from last year's park-related egg. So we had to talk to the mother dragon on the bridge to start the quest. She wants us to travel to the grasslands and find some torn pieces of paper, so I waited an excruciatingly long time for the map to load, and I was set. The papers were pretty easy to find since they just glow really bright, and you just have to find 2 of them. After that, you are directed towards a door in which you must complete 2 easy puzzles. After that, it's time to fight the boss, which is also pretty easy. You just have to hold down click, and sometimes I was even inside the boss and I didn't have a care in the world because I knew he would never kill me. After that, you'll be teleported back and have to talk to Mama Dragon again and she will give you the egg. 7 out of 10. Not really much more I can say about this part. It was just okay, but uninteresting to me. Alright, time to see if this game got any better after all this time. They made a new map just for the event, which I appreciate and congratulate them for. The only problem is nobody seems to be playing the event map, so I had to play alone, and even then when I created my own lobby, nobody joined. Obviously, that's not the developer's fault, but still. Even if you do stumble across people hosting the Egg Island map, they will just have the level requirement level 10,000 or something, so you really have no other choice but to make your own. But the real problem is obvious when it becomes clear that it's borderline impossible to beat this solo, even with the gear the developer gives you at the start of the round. Luckily, I found a really big party later, and we easily raffle stomped the map with our raw manpower. Oh, never mind, we ran out of time, actually. Yeah, did I mention that it was kind of difficult either way? Yeah, it's really hard, but I like that they added challenge to it. It's not unnecessarily hard as where it's unplayable or unbeatable, but it's difficult enough to keep you on the game because you'll need a few attempts. Anyways, defeat the boss and you get the egg. 6.5 out of 10. This one was really easy, and once again, I have nothing interesting to point out here. Yada yada yada, just collect 2 keys, open the door, and you win, yada yada yada. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, you can tell that I'm starting to get bored of having nothing to say about these games.
Well, I guess this makes sense. This entire segment is nothing more than a walking simulator and collectathon. It's not fun, it's frustrating, and it's boring, and I hated every second of it. At first, I thought it would be a breeze, but I was slapped in the face by my own obliviousness after I spent 20 minutes trying to get this egg. You have to complete borderline insane quests such as hatch 50 pets. Yep, I had to press the hatch button 50 times. It was the most outrageous thing I've ever witnessed. I'm seriously considering that this part is worse than the wolf part. If you don't want to sit around and hatch 50 eggs, you can always find 2 legendary pets, but they are some of the rarest things, and in all of my 50 hatches I didn't get a single one. Maybe that's because I kept opening the most common egg, but even then this is still unbelievable. Plus, you have to sit through this hatching animation each time because they want you to spend a whopping 500 Robux just to have a fast hatch. Even on top of this, the other egg hunt quests are boring, as you just have to walk around, sell, walk around, sell, walk around, sell, walk around. Anyways, you get the point. It was horrible. I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. No, you know what? I'm gonna break my own wheels and give this a 0 out of 10. This was the most scummy and grindiest game I played in this entire egg hunt. I'll be honest, I never heard of this game or knew something with such a bizarre name could exist prior to this egg hunt, but that's besides the point. Let's see what this game has to offer. We're told what we need to do straight off the bat. Collect 6 flowers around the map for this giant bunny thing and we'll get the egg. Easy, simple, and just like most of the other games in this egg hunt. It's still relatively harmless, but the only thing that really annoys me is the way the walking in this game works. Every time you sit on a chair, turn around, or even hit a small rock or flower, your character comes to a screeching halt and has to regain momentum. It's really annoying considering that the entire premise of this game's quest is just walking around. Besides that, there's really nothing wrong here. 5 out of 10. This was painful to say the least. Your starting pickaxe is basically the equivalent of a plastic spoon. Even mining sand of all things takes so many clicks that it hurts my arm. This was unbearable to do, and for a second, I legitimately thought that I had to dig 300 blocks to where the egg was, and spend hours searching through user-made pathways to eventually find it. Luckily, I checked Connor3D's comments on the tutorial of this egg right before I was about to give up, and saw this. Here's the tip. When you spawn, go to the left of the guy with the golden egg above his head, and you will find the hole. Jump down it, and you will get to this black bridge thing, and you can find the egg there. Smiley face. Thank you so much, HoyHong6875. Without this information, I would have never been able to get this egg. As soon as I got this newfound knowledge and tested this for myself, I shared it with the entire server, which praised me even though I probably didn't deserve it. Anyways, there was a lot of potential here considering how good the egg looked and how fun the game could have been, but everything was just executed in the worst way possible. At least let us have a better starting pickaxe, not a damn plastic spoon. 1.5 out of 10 because I really wanted to like this segment, but I just couldn't. Without blind luck, I would have never been able to get it. Overall, this took about 20 minutes to do, and it would have taken about 2 if I just had saw the top comment of that video. Find a couple buckets of paint and apply it to the egg. It's easy. Thankfully, the developers of this game cared enough to give us a lot of extra walk speed.
Yeah, this footage isn't sped up. That's actually how fast you travel normally.
It's still getting a 5 out of 10, but the walk speed buff is keeping it from becoming another walking simulator. Because, let me tell you, if they expect me to walk down this huge giant map at the Roblox's default speed, I would have been very, very mad. Oh, also, this one also pulls another tiny thing, as if you join on mobile, you can just click a button to get the egg instantly. There's that, I guess. This game was very confusing to me. What is this, a science project or something? Okay, joking aside, this game is actually pretty good even though I only spent 15 seconds driving my plane around. All you have to do is fly your plane to this island and the egg is up for grabs. But you thought it would be easy? Well, yeah, I did too. But anyways, the egg runs away from you and it's literally the most annoying thing ever. I spent 4 minutes trying to chase down this egg and eventually got lucky and touched it. 5 out of 10. I think there was so much more that they could have done with a plane game of all things. But do you remember Egg Hunt 2017's lobby where you could fly a plane through some rings in the plane Egg Hunt 2018 circus level? They could have done something like that, but no. It was just another annoying and lackluster quest. This game was pretty chill, no pun intended. To get the egg, all you had to do was explore the map and go up 11 ramps. While it was really easy, I liked this game and exploring the map enough to give it a 7 out of 10. This was pretty good, and it is amplified by the fact the prize you get for doing all of this just so happens to be one of the best looking eggs in the entire event. There's an egg temple, which is basically a bunch of traps. I really like this part because it was actually challenging. I will give them credit where it's due though. They made a separate game that's a copy of this temple but edited to be easier for mobile users. I really appreciate them taking the time to give mobile players a fairer playing field because I think this is one of the only games in this Egg Hunt that even did anything like this at all. 10 out of 10. This is like an RPG game with a more unique element, if you could say that. While the quest to get this egg isn't very interesting, the game itself is sort of interesting, meaning that it wasn't unbearable to spend 10 minutes trying to get this egg. It is another RNG based quest though, as you just have to hope that each hit you do on one of these owls will make them drop an egg, and you get to collect 10 of them. Besides that, there's really nothing else notable to say, so, 5 out of 10, next game. This segment bears striking resemblance to last year's Titanic Egg Quest, but of course this time it's the Britannia. Even though I don't remember much from last year's Titanic segment, granted nothing in Egg Hunt 2019 was really memorable, I still think that it was more enjoyable as this quest involves you just taking one request after another. Captain wants a scroll, so you go to the bow of a boat and talk to the sailor who says the guy at the back of the stern has it, and he does it. So you go talk to the guy at the stern, and he says the nurse has a scroll. Then you go all the way down to floor E and get the scroll from the nurse and bring it back to the captain to get the egg. Yeah, you guessed it. 5 out of 10. Another story game, I think. Well, if it is what I think it's going to be, then let's just hope it can meet the standards of the break-in story game we played earlier. So yeah, this basically is what I thought it was going to be, except this one seems to be a lot more atmospheric, if you will. First off, everything seems normal as we inspect this egg hunt festival that's for some unknown reason being hosted in what seems to be an abandoned city. I'm just not going to question it. Then some sort of earthquake occurs and everyone gets scared off. Now we meet a character named Benny the Bunny who wants us to help him find his Easter eggs, but he takes us on this journey through his underground nesting area until we come along a path that's swarmed by aggressive moles. It's a quick obstacle event as we just have to get to the other side without dying. Now Benny's lazy ass wants us to give him 3 carrots. This is where we are introduced to our weapon, the egg slingshot. It's actually surprisingly powerful and fun to use. After this, we have to wait for Benny to finish constructing a bridge to allow us to get into the upper levels of these catacombs. The snakes try to attack us, but they're fairly easy to kill. Now we have to make our way through this maze. This part took the longest because I kept going in circles, but once one of you remember to find the exit, you are all teleported. Now, it's time for the throne room, where 3 more snakes are protecting a corrupted version of the egg. Again, they are easy to kill. Now, I was expecting a final boss to pop out and snatch the egg away, and we'd have to kill him before we got it. Apparently, that's not how this works, as you get the egg right then and there. I don't get why they made it to where you don't have to fight the final boss, because believe me, there is one. Just look at the options you have. Return to lobby or fight the boss, even if the boss was easy. It was, and I know that since I took extra time to defeat him. I would have still liked an extra challenge by having to take on the boss, but that's really the only thing that bugs me about this segment though. Honestly, I've taken quite a liking to these story-based games, even if they have a lot of plot holes, uninteresting writing elements, and are very straightforward and streamlined, and are just not scary at all. I'm referring to the horror ones that just use cheap jump scares and whatnot, but I don't feel like this one in particular is attempting to be scary. But even with all that in mind, I still enjoy them because, well, I've had to play 2 just to get through this event, and they're much better than a lot of the other crap that's been thrown our way during this event. While they aren't really that original and their stories are interesting when they do tell their stories, I still like them because to me, it feels like an old Egg Hunt 2017/2018 quest. Again, if only more segments of this year's Egg Hunt could have been like this, we might have had a decent event on our hands, but unfortunately, that is not the case. 10 out of 10 regardless, even if I like the other story game better. Alright, well that was certainly a good change of pace from those constant 5 out of 10 quests. Now, let's see. Oh no. Well, it seems that I have truly saved the worst for last because I have heard a lot of bad things about this game. Even the description and dislike ratio show it. Just look. The timestamps on videos for tutorials on how to get this egg are well over 10 minutes most of the time, and even Connor 3D's video is 15 minutes. I'm only pointing that out because Connor 3D is widely regarded to be the best source for egg hunt tutorials, as he is known for getting straight to the point. And I'll admit that the timestamps and bad reputation this game had scared me, and I was not anticipating having to play it because of that. But let's see if this is actually not as bad as it's shaping up to be so far. Oh boy, this one's probably gonna be something. Getting past the bad reception and description of this game, I noticed that the game was specifically made for the egg hunt by devs of another game, so it's a spin-off of some sorts. A for effort, I guess? Oh hey look, it's a pay-to-win feature. Anyways, what you're supposed to do is go on the Time Travel Adventures portal and you're teleported to a new game. As soon as I got teleported into the map, I heard voice lines playing on top of one another, people calling each other idiots, and a lot more. Anyways, the rabbit wants him to let us out, which apparently we weren't supposed to do because our team members did it anyways. Apparently the bunny is evil and just provides us with an obstacle, and it would be a lot easier to win without him, I think. After we let him out though, we had to do this parkour course and there goes half the server. Yeah, if you die twice, you're done for. You have to redo the entire thing. Unless you have the unfair pay-to-win game pass, that is. So after the first parkour course, literally only 3 people of our team was left. One of them being me. Now we had to do a puzzle and give 4 eggs to this angry egg in order for him to give us a weapon. Funny side note, this game actually has voice acting and it isn't particularly good. I heard him mistaking the voice line for the angry egg where he says, "Is that it?" at the last seconds of his line. It was kind of funny.
All right there, excellent choice. Have fun with that. And take these weapons. Is that it?
Now we sleep at the Egg Inn, where the bunny attacks us once more. Luckily, he is way too easy in this part, as he doesn't even jump on the bunk beds, meaning you can just kill him by staying on your bed the entire time. Now we meet with Cletus, who lets us ride Gert through a bunch of mud and boulders in another obby. There goes our third member, as he died on the obstacle course and got kicked out because it was his second death. Now it's time for the final boss, the bunny again. He's really easy once more, and then after that we can claim the egg. Wow, I actually thought this was going to be a lot worse. Maybe it was worse at launch, but the description is showcasing how many bugs they fixed since then. But yeah, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now, if I had anything to say, I would have definitely said that this is the worst of the 3 story mode games that were part of this egg hunt. Making their own new story for this egg hunt is not anything special either, as the Hotel Stories game did that. The only game that didn't make a new story for the egg hunt, presumably, was the break-in one, and it was still pretty fun either way. I can see why this segment was disliked a lot more than the other story mode segments because of the 2 deaths you're done part. Imagine having to do these obstacle courses on mobile. It would have been infuriating. It was easy for me, but the same can't be said for other people, and especially mobile players. Plus, the pay-to-win Infinite Lives Game Pass also exists. But yeah, that's about it. But again, this is the worst of the 3 story mode games. If they remove the life mechanic, I think it would get a 10 out of 10, but for now, I'm slapping it with a 9 out of 10. It's the same as it was last year, and the year before, and the year before the year before. Get all the eggs, and then you're rewarded with the Fabergé. Except this time, Roblox doesn't outright give you the Fabergé as soon as you collect all the eggs. Apparently, from what I've seen, you have to wait sometime after the event ends to be awarded the Fabergé. What? I mean, surely it's nothing to complain about, but still, what's up with that? I will give them this though. You don't have to have the 3 infamous launcher eggs to be able to get the Fabergé this year, which is a plus. Well, that's it. Egg Hunt 2020. Was it good? No, certainly not. If anything, Egg Hunt 2019 is objectively better because it actually had an official lobby. The only thing close to a lobby this year was the unofficial fan-made one, of course, and the egg phone, which just tracks your eggs. I appreciate that they made an easy way for us to track our eggs. The Egg Hunt 2019's lobby made that excruciatingly difficult, but really? They could have had this egg phone feature and a lobby. I don't even want a lobby just so I can track my eggs. I just want interesting and unique objectives that weren't spread throughout 50 games. Honestly, the only good part of Egg Hunt 2018 were the main story's eggs and Avengers eggs and whatnot. It was really the only part that actually felt like the old traditional egg hunt style. I really hope Roblox cans this 50 game system and gets 15, EBR, or hell, just any god tier Roblox dev group on board for another Egg Hunter event. Because if that does happen, it would be a dream come true for me. But something tells me that they aren't going to do that.
Actually, never mind, because 15 made a post on Twitter saying that they're coming back for another adventure, so please let it be what I think it's gonna be. Please, 15.
Even after being shown that this 50 game system does not work 2 years in a row, they continue to do it, and this time they'd even remove the lobby. They just keep downgrading every year, and I don't get why they do that. They clearly have the resources to make another egg hunt as great as 2017 or 2018, so why don't they just do it? Corporate greed and overall laziness is my guess, but what do you guys think? To be honest, even with Egg Hunt 2020's absence of an official lobby, I don't think it was any worse or any better than last year's, if you can believe that. I really just felt I was playing Egg Hunt 2019 all over again. There was really nothing different except the games chosen and the quest in said games. Both Egg Hunt 2019 and Egg Hunt 2020 had their ups and downs. Both of the games are average, there's a few terrible ones and a few great ones. It's literally just the same thing we got last year, but slightly different. So yeah, Egg Hunt 2020. It's boring most of the time, unmemorable, and I'm honestly glad I'm done with it. Egg Hunt 2020 is a prime example of why this 50 game system Roblox has been pushing for 2 years in a row doesn't even work. It's unorganized, boring, unfair for console and mobile players, and just makes old Egg Hunt players reminiscent of the better times when Egg Hunts had their own game. Plus, I haven't even factored in the massive hype behind this Egg Hunt in particular. We all knew that it would be another dev hunt, but even then, the trailer was awesome and everything leading up to its pitiful release just got us more hyped. I guess we thought it would have been a step up from last year, but it just wasn't. It really wasn't. Nothing from the trailer that hyped us up this much in the first place was even implemented in the Egg Hunt. I thought that the spy theme would work great with the lobby, so it's just wasted potential. I will be giving Egg Hunt 2020 a 3 out of 10 rating. The same goes for Egg Hunt 2019, which I recall giving a 6 out of 10 or something on my old channel. And let's be honest, that rating is way too high. They aren't better than one another, they're literally the same event, copy and pasted. So, did Egg Hunt 2020 really need a 1 hour review? Hell no it didn't, but I did it anyways. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please leave a like, because that will really help me out. Making this video was not easy as I had unoptimized recording settings for the first app and the file sizes of my footage were outrageous. Plus, this Egg Hunt was pretty painful and rage-inducing to play most of the time. So there's that as well, I guess. I'll see you all next year. If any information regarding Egg Hunt 2021 comes out, I will be making a video discussing it as always. Goodbye.